The paramedics were halfway through loading my wife Eleanor into the ambulance when the shrieking started. Dolores Kensington, our HOA president, charged across my lawn in her signature purple blazer, waving a clipboard. "Stop. Stop everything right now. You are in violation of Section 4.2 of the Maple Grove HOA bylaws." I, Daniel Patterson, stepped between Dolores and the stretcher. She jabbed her finger at the EMTs. "That emergency vehicle is not pre-approved for entry into this community. You're all trespassing." By the time this nightmare week was over, Dolores would be in handcuffs, charged with obstruction of emergency services. My wife Eleanor has a congenital heart condition. We moved to Maple Grove for the quiet, but Dolores, a retired corporate compliance officer, ruled with an iron fist. She measured grass with a ruler and once fined someone because their garbage can was visible for 12 minutes after pickup. After Eleanor's sudden cardiac episode, the paramedics ignored Dolores and stabilized Eleanor. When I returned from the hospital exhausted, there was an envelope taped to my door, an HOA violation notice listing multiple infractions: unauthorized emergency vehicle entry, damage to common area grass, excessive noise from sirens before 9 a.m., and failure to submit emergency vehicle request form 7 days in advance. Fines totaled over $850. I contested the fines. Dolores dismissed my protests, saying medical emergencies were not exempt from HOA guidelines and I should have planned better. She then made her first real mistake. She posted the security footage on the community Facebook page, claiming Eleanor and I had staged the whole medical emergency to avoid a landscaping inspection. She actually wrote that my wife had faked a cardiac episode to get out of trimming our hedges. I started documenting everything, including installing my own security cameras. 2 weeks later, Dolores escalated, bringing 2 HOA security guards to my driveway and demanding Eleanor's medical records, claiming she suspected insurance fraud. She actually tried to declare a citizen's arrest for non-compliance. My brother-in-law, an attorney, discovered Dolores had been operating the HOA under an expired charter for 2 years, meaning all her fines were legally invalid. Crucially, interfering with emergency medical services was a felony in our state. I filed a complaint with the county prosecutor's office, attaching my security footage showing Dolores physically trying to block the paramedics and grabbing the stretcher. I also contacted a local news station. The segment aired with the headline, "HOA President Attempts to Arrest Woman During Medical Emergency." The footage of Dolores screaming at EMTs while my wife struggled to breathe went viral immediately. Dolores's lawyer immediately dropped her as a client. The county moved fast. Dolores was charged with interference with emergency medical personnel, reckless endangerment, and making false statements to law enforcement. The HOA board called an emergency meeting. The community center was packed with angry residents who'd been bullied for years. Homeowners stood up one by one, detailing absurd fines: $300 for chalk drawings, $75 for a wreath an inch too large, a veteran fined for displaying the American flag. The board voted unanimously to remove Dolores as president. Dolores showed up at the next official meeting anyway, ranting about constitutional violations, when 2 police officers walked in. They arrested her right there at the podium for tampering with emergency communications. She'd been caught trying to reprogram the HOA emergency system to route all 911 calls through her personal cell phone first. Eleanor and I filed a civil lawsuit. The HOA's insurance company offered to settle immediately. The judgment came back at $145,000 in damages plus attorney fees. The HOA was also required to dissolve and reorganize under new bylaws with term limits. At the criminal trial, Dolores stood before Judge Holbrook, still wearing her purple blazer. The prosecutor played the video of her grabbing the ambulance stretcher. Dolores was found guilty on all charges. The judge, noting zero remorse, sentenced Dolores to 18 months in prison, 3 years probation, and $50,000 in fines. Dolores stood up and shouted that the judge had no authority over HOA matters before her new lawyer frantically pulled her down.